all the benevolent beings of light, archangels, and ascended masters to guide and inspire us during this forum. Our forum's vision is to bring the understanding, tools, discipline, and support for those seeking to enter the straight and narrow path, the road less traveled, that will lead us along effectively and steadily through the ascension process. Integration of the human experience with our divine origin is moving us full circle to achieve our divine potential. So be it. Amen.
Trust that your soul has a plan, even if you can't see it at all. Know that everything will unfold as it is meant to, and that is so important. Sigma empaths. In essence, what this is all about is us recovering our ability to read energy, the energy fields around everyone and everything, animals, all life. To be able to know you have this inner knowing and you're so clear on what's going on around you. You can walk in a room, and if you learn to be very still inside yourself and just observe what's going on, you will feel the energy within each of the fields that you're drawn to. If I'm drawn to a field, that means that this person and I have a contract, and I definitely am going to approach them. If I'm just observing a group and I'm not feeling a sense of who to go to, I wait before I approach anybody. In most cases, someone will approach you or me. And that person knows, they have the insight to know that there is a contract. And that's the reason you're there. Have you ever been invited to, let's say, a house party? And you're just walking around, smiling at people, but you don't feel connected to anyone. And you say to yourself, what am I doing here? Should I leave? What should I do? And my way of handling it is I can only be where I'm supposed to be. I can't be anywhere else. And so I stay. And eventually somebody will come up to you and start to have a conversation. And then you start to realize, okay, even if it's uncomfortable, it was meant to be. I always say to myself, wherever I find myself, that is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And if I'm uncomfortable, it's because there is energy here that's matching something in me that I really need to look at and get rid of, move it out. If it's uncomfortable, embrace it if it's beautiful. So let's go over the 10 different categories, because you're going to find that there are maybe one, but probably multiple categories here that you absolutely have experienced. The first one is hypersensitivity to surroundings. Those of us that are able to be quiet and be in an observing manner, not constantly talking, immediately getting your mouth running and you're running to speak and to let everybody know who you are, but rather to enter a place in silence, center yourself, and just open up your fields and project the light out and embrace the people that are around you. That is a master in entering a room. That is a master. You don't start, connecting all over the place or putting on an act or whatever people do. It's so important to realize that you're not there to entertain the world. You're there for a reason. And honestly, when you approach a group like that, whether you're at work or on your personal time, it doesn't matter. If you're meeting a group for the first time, let's say your partner has friends that you haven't met yet, and you have no connection to them that you know of yet, it's one of those times when you walk in with this incredible calm. Just be centered and open, because if you're shut down to protect yourself or feel nervous, nobody's going to come near you because you have a wall up. But if you do it the other way, open up your heart, let it shine, and people are going to feel it, maybe see it, but mostly feel it. Be the open door of love. This Sigma empath means that you're really acutely attuned, you see, to energy. It isn't just women, although those Greek statues were really beautiful, they did speak about men as well. And the men that are as sensitive as the women are really excellent at picking up other people's vibes, as they say. Enhanced problem solving in group situations or settings. Honest to goodness, if you're quiet enough inside and pay attention to whatever is out there being discussed, your mind will start lining everything up. It'll absolutely get everything in order inside you. And that's why, even if it isn't in your field of expertise, you can still interact. You can still have something to say about it, carry a conversation, even problem solve. If somebody kind of brings up an issue that they've been working with, which happens to me all the time. They just feel it. They know who you are more than you do because they can feel your energy. And let me tell you, you guys have the light of God shining out from you. It's giving me a suntan. You know what I mean? Because you're all safe here and open, like my grandsons. They can say anything, tell me all their secrets, because it's safe. You are safe. And they will tell you things. People will tell you things that they would never tell anybody else. A lady I met the other day, she I don't know her from Adam, except maybe a couple of lifetimes recently, but that doesn't count. In this lifetime, I don't know her. And she said, I don't know what it is about you, but I feel like I can trust you. I've got to tell you something very, very deep. And I saw it coming because I could see her opening up to me. This is because you have these gifts, this empathic gift that is so beautiful, and people recognize it. Number 3, analytical thinking and problem solving. I know quite a few of you personally, and those that I know from the forum and I've met, and then those that I see here that I haven't been together with. But I can see in your fields what drives you. Problem solving, it's a gift from heaven. The person who can come up with the answers, like John. When you have a group and there is something that needs to be resolved, there are those of you that can pull it all together. And the sad part is, people like us who have these skills and develop them, we don't get in the power positions. We end up fourth from the top, and we've got to listen to people that don't have it. And it's like our heads explode because they can't seem to get it right. The higher up you go, the more they have to answer to the next one up. Whereas middle management and below, you actually are interacting with people and you have to come up with answers. Those are the people I like to talk to. That is such a powerful gift that you can just, somebody tells you something and they don't know what to do, and you just see it as clear as a bell right in front of you, and you share it. And they said, I never thought of that. It never even dawned on me for a minute. Yeah. Because they don't have that gift yet. We all eventually will open up our gifts, but that package is still sealed for them. They call it doors. The doors have not opened to that yet. Strength, intuition, and insight. It seems that women express this more than I see men doing. This inner knowing, this intuition that we seem to have. Like my husband always says, okay, I'm not going to argue because you're always right. And if I do it, it's going to be wrong. And then I got to deal with it. I said, how about just saying that it's really a good idea and let's try it? But he doesn't want to give in. He's a Leo. But you know what? Any man that's on this call knows that women really do kind of get it right for some reason. And you can too. However, you guys are quieter about it. And you just go about it in a quiet way where we have to tell everybody, this is how we're going to do it. And this is how it's going to be done because we can see it all the way to the end. And that is amazing and that's why men and women are very good together, because the man thinks in a different way than a woman does. You guys see the immediate issue and what needs to be done. The woman sees the issue, but she'd rather kind of look a little bit further down the road and say, well, if I take this, we work out which path to take is going to leave the less path of damage. And my husband actually brought that to my attention because he would go about something and then he would constantly find that he was tripping up and he had to rethink it. Whereas when he'd share it with me, I was able to think it out all the way to the end, but he wanted to do it his way, which is fine. And it got difficult. But now, after 58 years of marriage, no, I think it's 55. 55 years of marriage, he just says, what do you think we should do, hon? And it's so much easier that way. You know, and sometimes it's actually the man that can carry that. And I've seen it. I've seen it. I've worked with people like that, where the wife hasn't opened that door yet, and the husband has. They have such a great sense of vision. And I really appreciate it in whether you're a lady or a man. It's a beautiful gift from God. Capacity for solitude and inner reflection. How many people here, you don't even have to raise your hands. Think about it. How many of you really need time to yourself? Just really need time to yourself, or you just can't go through the week? Yes, me too. Me too. Yeah. If I don't have that alone time, and let me tell you, I've got to find time for that. I do. And I'm sure many of you do. And when I do that, I recharge myself. I really feel so much more whole and strong in order to carry on. We put so much out the empaths, and all of you have this gift. I'm telling you, you do. And we put so much energy out there that we need to recharge that battery. Yes, when we sleep, we recharge our battery, yes. But I mean, we need to recharge on all levels of our being, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Physically is taken care of in the sleep state. When I don't get that time to myself, I'm just not operating well. And I kind of get cranky because I have to give myself what I need. Be good at this, all of you. Be good at this. You have to think of yourself, especially now that we are translating our bodies into a body of, well, a 12-strand DNA. And it's taking a tremendous amount of energy from us on top of everything else that we do. Be kind to yourself. I always put everybody first. Everybody. I never gave a hoot or a holler about me because I had more energy than anybody that I ever met, and I could do whatever I needed to do until I turned 65. We'll let that go now. But I'm telling you, you have these gifts, you all of you that I can see. Those that have their cameras off, sorry, I can't see you. But I'm looking at the fields, and there's one that I can't see anybody, but the camera's on. Adaptability to diverse environments. You know, it's very interesting, right down to your body temperature. My whole life, I was able to adapt to temperature changes, and I was fine. And my husband would say, I'm freezing. What is with you? I said, my body adapts on temperature, on energy flow, on lighting, everything. It just always knew how to deal with it. I have no idea why or how. Some of you may also have this and understand what I'm talking about. But it's such a wonderful, wonderful gift. Empathic boundary setting. Oh boy, is this a big one. Boundaries. Do you let people come into your field right up in your face? Or do you step back and have to step away? I had a stranger lady. My grandson was in the men's room at a store, and I'm waiting for him, and I'm saying, what the heck? And I was going to go in there and find him. Some lady comes out of that bathroom, the men's room, and my son was behind her. I'm a grandson. And I said, what are you doing in the boys' room or the men's room? And she comes right up in my face. She's like right up in my face. And she goes, I have a kidney infection. And the man was cleaning the ladies' bathroom and I wasn't going to wait. And I went, okay, step back. You don't have to get so excited. I just wanted to know what you're doing in there because my grandson was in there. And she goes, yeah, okay. But she was right in my face. I let her stay there just long enough to get out what she needed to say. And I backed away from her. I have a boundary. I didn't have it most of my life. I let anybody use me as a doormat. But that's never going to happen again. Never. Don't let anyone mistreat you. Having boundaries is a very, very important part of your being. My husband respects my boundaries. He didn't when we were younger. He does now. He learned that it's not right because all of a sudden he realizes he has boundaries and they must be kept. And I've always respected that. He's learned to do it. So Boundaries are important because let me tell you how many layers of that I'm talking about. Not just physical boundary, right? Somebody in your space, but also boundaries as far as you'll go when people ask more of you than you're willing to give. Do you understand that? And that's something that takes maturity to come to that place where even though our hearts are breaking and want to do everything we can, we need to know our limits and not allow anybody to step into that place where we said no. Very important. I'm teaching my grandsons about boundaries. Yeah, they don't understand it yet. They're in each other's face. They're, do things that just because I can see the reactions of people that aren't so kid friendly. And it really is something they need to understand, along with 1,000 other things. But anyway, boundaries, physical, mental, emotional, all of them need to be addressed. And you need to understand yourself, where your limits are, where your boundaries are, and stick with it. Do it pleasantly, but do it. Because you do not want anybody to walk over you. Now, once you reach a certain level of emptiness where you've let go of a tremendous amount of your past, you'll have so much light in you that for someone would have to be really out of sorts like that lady to come that close into my field, because that blazing light is really going to affect her. She's probably going to have a aha moment because she was right in my face. But you won't find that people break your boundaries at all. You don't even have to worry about it because your light is expanded far enough where people don't usually enter into it too deep because it's so bright and feels so amazing. It's like touching the hem of the Christ robe. That's what that was about. They wanted to feel that energy and that light. So healing and blessed. And let me tell you, nobody shines like you guys. There's a handful of people on the planet that shine like you. We don't realize it. We look in the mirror and go, what shine? What is she talking about? No, I'm telling you, people feel it. They know who you are. And even the shadow, the bad guys, the evil ones, they don't mess with you unless you're scared of them. They know who you are. You know that they say that there is a book with your name in it and you belong to God. Well, they know that. They know who you serve and they're scared to death of you. But they put on this big act to come at you. These mean, horrible creatures. And that's in a body of a human being I'm talking about. They know who you are. They want to get you upset because they live off of that energy that you let out when you're scared. It's sick and weird, but it's true. And that's why I always tell you, stay in your center. And if you're out of sorts, sit down and get yourself back into the center. This is critical in these days where there's such madness going on out there. Number 8, creative expression and innovation. We all have different ways that we like to express ourselves. Some people are excellent speakers. Some people are excellent writers. Some do it through art. Some do it through action, physically, like in sports. Others, they find a way to express themselves, some kind of gift that they drag out of themselves when they feel like there's nothing else that they can give. Each one of you have a different gift that you came in with. This magnificent light that you are, the creation of God in a body in the world. bringing your gifts so beautifully as only you can. That is your greatest gift, your genuine self, being you, and don't be afraid to be you. Don't, and this is a mistake a lot of women do and men do. They're crazy in love with someone and they, in their mind, start to imitate them. Men and women don't fall in love with each other because that they're like them. They fall in love with you, the individual. They love what you are, how you talk, how you act. Don't try to become anybody but you. It's already taken. They're taken. You can't have that. There's only one. There's only one you, and there's only one them. When you lose yourself, you start to lose their interest. And it's really, that's when the counseling comes in, because they lost themselves in the another. Enhance problem solving and in group settings. You know, some people can do this and some can't. But when someone like I'm sorry, John, I'm not picking on you, but you get group, all the people that work under you together, and he has to come up with solutions. He's got to get everything the way it needs to be. I love being in that position, and I have been in jobs. I was always management because I had this gift. And so does John. And you're able to pull things together, help people to understand their place in the beautiful scheme of things so that they can pull off a project. Because together we're strong. We're strong. Again, teachings to the kids, go to play sports, but it isn't about you being the hero. It's about you being a good team player, right? We can get more done where two or more are gathered. And it wasn't just about prayer or whatever in the Bible, where two or more are together. When I put my head together with Charlie or somebody else, I can get more done and I get more answers because we kind of work so nice in harmony with each other. It's a beautiful thing. You know, when we get out of our ego that we have to be so important and we're the hero and we did this and we did that, what the? Nobody cares. We're just trying to get through this life. It isn't about that. That's all ego playing. But when we can get a team together and a job done, let me tell you, that is more thrilling and fulfilling than anything in the world, to see everybody thriving in what they do best, right? You get them together and it's remarkable. And what I learned, and I taught a man who was on Wall Street, I said, when you hire people, look at their sign when they were born. You see their birth date on the application. I said, look up what that stands for. The Virgos are the workers, the Aries are the starters. Everybody's got their strong points, and get every bit of the signs, all 12 of them together in a team, and they'll cover every aspect of the work, because you've got everybody with strengths that they really can bring to the table. And my son is doing this with his group that he's overseeing at Roche. Yeah, it works tremendously. And number 10, healing and nurturing abilities. You know, healing can be as simple as just a good ear, being a good listener. A lot of people don't want you to figure out their stuff. They don't want you to give them the end game. They want you to listen so that they can share with you the story. It's very important to be a good listener. If you don't have that in you, and that's not your gift to be a good listener, then I understand. And you won't put yourself in that position. But other people, they can heal just by loving, just sitting there and just loving that person, no matter what they're saying, just keep sending love to them. That's what I do. That I listen with all my heart and I'm pouring light into them. That is the healing grace that you can give them. Again, you don't want to be the one to tell people how to figure out what to do. They've got to learn how to do that. That's their job. Your job is to answer their questions to the point to send them in the right direction. Set them in the right direction. And then let them fly or flop. If they flop, they'll come back and they'll say, what's wrong? What happened? Why didn't this work out? And what do? You point them in the right direction again. It's probably the same exact words that you said before, but the soil has to be what? Ready? So the seed will grow. You plant a seed when you point somebody in the right direction. And this way, they can use the information when the soil is ready, the seed opens, and the little tiny bud comes up, the little stem starts. That means that they got it. They were ready to get it. They had to go through what they did until the point where they were ready to understand it. And then that door opens, and this next time you say it or someone else says it to them, they get it and they run with it. You see? Healing comes in many ways. We are healers for ourselves because Jesus said, healer, heal thyself. But also we can bring comfort to others. We can bring help to others when they're struggling. We can make a meal for somebody that's recovering from surgery, right? We can do nice things. We can make someone's life so blessed. We can be the light of God in the world because everyone prays to God to do things, but God works through people. You see, we're the boots on the ground that God uses to bring his grace to others. Or we go to the dark side. You can do that for a couple of centuries. Might be fun. It gets old, like everything else, because all of a sudden we are growing in our understanding and we go, this is getting boring. I've beat that every guy up that I ever met. Yep, that's getting really old. And we don't do it anymore. But oh my goodness, the karma comes back. And we have to take a beating when we're already decided to be clean and lovely and sweet. And people go, I don't understand why such nice people get hurt all the time. Well, guess what? We were not angels all the while. But boy, did we learn the way to go, didn't we? But I'm telling you, most of your karma's been, just the people I can see. Most of your karma's pretty clean. Yeah, you've worked. A couple of you have some work to do, but we're progressing beautifully. Yeah. It's so interesting when I'm looking at the guides around you because we have so many guides that are the same. And I think that is so cool. As a soul group, they're working with the soul group now, which I really like that. I love it. Yeah. A lot of us don't have a lot of family like me, and you're my family. You really are. Yeah, you are my family. You're in my prayers every day, and I hope I'm in yours because together we need to form this beautiful oversoul. It's a energy that is surrounding us as a group. And when we have each of the retreats and come together in the physical, oh my God, the energy, what it does for us. We're new people. We walk out of there new people. I'm looking forward to November. Really big time. Yeah. Let me tell you about empaths. It's all about the feeling world in you. Please do not be afraid to feel deeply, deeply. It doesn't mean you give anything up. You give nothing up. All you do is expand the light and love of God all around you. You lift up everything and everyone as you do this. This is the grace that you bring the world. That song is very powerful. Remember, no matter what, just keep going forward. Believe in yourself. Know that everything happens and goes, comes and goes. This too shall pass. Always remember that. It isn't like it's going to last forever, going through body pain, going through emotional pain and mental pain. It's all going to pass, and you grow from every single experience that occurs. Thank you. So, Sigma empaths, it is absolutely who you are. The knowing, the feeling, the opening of a heart, the touch, the holding of a hand, the person who can read the feelings just enough to know to go over to someone who is in need, someone so lonely, someone that needs someone to listen to their story. The elders want to tell their stories, and they want to hear your story. The children love to hear stories. In the middle part of our life, we're very, very busy. Segment 2 of our life. There's 3 parts. 3 parts to your life. And once you reach the path of the elder, this is the time when we have more time opened up for us to actually do what we came to do, to fulfill our missions, to connect with the people that we have contracts with and finish up the job. Even if it's in a dream and you see somebody you haven't seen in like ever, and you're saying to yourself, what am I thinking of this person for? They just wanted a blessing, and let them go. We're done. We're complete. Contract signed, sealed, and delivered. That's all you need to do. Whenever someone comes up in your mind, just bless them and they'll go. You finished your job. The contract is ended and it's complete. As we do this, we're paying our debts. Whether it's just a matter of being a friend, a helping hand, someone to listen, someone to do, it doesn't matter. We're finishing up contracts. Some of them are lifelong, some of them are really short, some of them last for a while, and they're done. Contract free, you just become total service to God in a different way. In a different way. And that different way is as we move into this 5D body and 5D 12-strand DNA, RNA structure, we become divine beings. That's what we become. And that's what we're doing right now. Those of you who understood the teachings that we listened to today, next week we're going to do part 2. It is so important. It isn't about gender. It's about the feminine and masculine energy working together so that we are whole. We complete ourselves. We become a complete unit. And then the service moves into the next level. To serve God, that's all you'll hear when we cross into 5D, there's no religion. Everybody is serving God, honoring God, blessing God, understanding why we exist, and giving it all to God. The love, everything is complete within each of our units. Your Merkaba is complete. Everything is done. And we can move on and enter into this new level of learning and understanding life and the use of energy, light, and how to use it to its fullness. This is truth, all the take the gifts that God imbued into your DNA, RNA structure, and you can take that to the next level of use, because you'll be completely opened up to your divine mind and your sacred heart. Bless that part of you every day. Bless all of your organs and systems, which are changing their purpose in your body. As we move into this new body, this body so incredible, this crystalline body, our organs are going to change their use. They actually will. They are the organs that are harmonizing and balancing to our tone of the song of our higher self. That sound is very well known in the universe. Believe me, each one of us has a different sound, and that's harmonizing our body. And as all of this comes together, we become our higher self. We become it. And then we turn into a body of light. That's the stage after this one. We'll talk about that when the time comes. Right now, we're working on the crystalline body. Let's stay where we need to be. That's why a lot of people say, I want to work on the 13th level. Yeah, well, let's get to the 5th and let's master that, and we'll go wherever you want to go after that. You know, we got to do everything in steps and stages, because that's the way nature works. Everything works in harmony and balance with nature. So while we're earthlings, let's work with nature and follow her lead. I'm watching what's happening right here. We're actually turning into fall already up here, believe it or not. By the end of this month, the leaves start to fall and the air is crisp and everything changes here early, because I'm so far up north. But honestly, our physical bodies are of the earth, made of the elements of the earth, but our soul isn't. That's the likeness of God, you see, is our soul. And it's really cool. Looks like Casper the Ghost. Our etheric double, when we go on these trips later, that is the etheric double that we're actually moving into the other dimensions with. Yep. So what I say to you is this: you are already who you wish to be, and all the gifts are yours. Now, let's open up the doors by bringing in all this light, making that every cell molecule is transformed into light capsules, so that you no longer have a past. All of that is cleansed from yourself, and you become a being of light. As you become a being of light, the doors open within you, and your gifts and talents are becoming the way, the new way that you operate. All of this is happening naturally by your desire to be the fullness, to be in service to God, to pay all your debts and be clean and clear, to be empty vessels so God can fill you with the light that God is life force. And in that life force, there is only love, truth. That's all there is. Light, love, and truth. That's what you are. That's what you're made of. Anything outside of that, get rid of. It's not yours. Doesn't belong to you. Together, we bring so much love to each other, so much hope and understanding. This is why we're together. This is why we meet. We waited a long time to gather. There's others. There's other soul groups all over the world, and they're coming together just like we are. There's others from our soul group that aren't here yet. They're serving in a different way right now. They're not ready, but they definitely are part of our soul group. Our soul group is mighty one, because over the many centuries we've worked together, it's really important that we come together. And you know some of the people that are actually part of our family. I hope you remember to bring them here. We'd like to meet them. So on that note, I just want to say to you that I looked up this archangel. You're not going to believe what I just read about her. And she's located in Madagascar. How do you say it, Janet?
Madagascar.
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 Thank you. Madagascar. Okay. And I'm going to read to you the write-up about her. I never met her before that I'm aware of. And I have a feeling that's where we're going tonight. All right. So I'm going to wrap up here. I want you, anybody that's been listening on YouTube, please join us. We have so much fun, and we don't have any of this recorded from the second and third segments. If you'd like to be part of that, please join us. We welcome you. Go to ourdivineorigin.com and just send me an email, and you're on the list of guests. God bless you and good night. Yes. God bless you and good night.